I would like to carry that on to find out what specific functions of the mind were most effectual and the 3 or 4 most effective changes brought about to create the polarization. So he's asking, bear this in mind, no pun intended, but yeah, he's asking about specific functions of the mind and that which were most effective for polarization. Now, Rod's going to say, this is an interesting query. The primary veiling was of such significance that it may be seen to be analogous to the mantling of the earth over all the jewels within the earth's crust, whereas previously all facets of the Creator were consciously known. After the veiling, almost no facets of the Creator were known to the mind. Almost all was buried beneath the veil. So that is the unconscious mind. That is what's buried beneath the veil, that is ignorance, unknowing. You want to look into your unconscious mind and you see nothing. You see, it's not totally sealed off. Veiling does not mean sealing. So there is a sort of permeability that was allowed, and I think that was brilliant because this is what brings us to the inner path. That's why mystics have all been fascinated with this. Meditation, prayer, contemplation, whatever you want to call it, is the inward path of knowing that which is you. So we take this step, and that's why you can see that my interest in all of this, raw material, non-duality, of course, Buddhism, Taoism, Zen, etc., all of this brought me to the only important thing that I find in my life, which is the inner self, that which you are, that which is the positive path, and not so much all this mental rambling and conceptualization and steps to do this and that and healing through methodologies of this. You know me for speaking very rigidly about how those things can be such a distraction, especially when we don't have gurus who are training us on all these steps and things to do and Kundalini awakening and Shaktipat and all these things that are thrown out in the New Age repertoire. They were a distraction for me, I confess, and because they were a distraction for me, I wouldn't want this to happen to other people. To those who enjoy it, then Godspeed to you, my friend. But if you have gotten already a taste of the raw material and you are seduced by the idea of knowing who you are, then what you're looking for is the mystical path, not some 10,000 things to learn so you can somehow become something that you're not already. So this is all about revealing who you truly are, as opposed to becoming something that you are meant to be. That's not the way it works. It's never worked that way, and it's always left disappointment in the way. So all right, that's what the veiling is. It was covering up all those jewels, and I think this analogy is actually pretty cute. I love it, because the mantling of the earth over all the jewels that are down there, yes, you know, there's a lot buried in there that is quite useful for us, and of a lot of beauty and appreciation for who we are. So that's the same thing. And I'm talking about societal or cultural, how much benefit we can get from digging, you know, the earth. Well, we have explored that, I mean, a little bit unconsciously, but still we get the benefits of it. And if we do the same with ourselves, then we can see that there are vast resources in the unconscious waiting for us to stop repressing it, basically. We're not gonna drill into our unconscious like, you know, man-made stuff. And yeah, we're going to subtly await the bubbling of the unconscious mind to say, oh, there it is. New things about me, and lo and behold, I love it. So, okay. everything, almost everything, was buried beneath the veil. What else did they say? If one were to attempt to list those functions of mind most significant in that they might be of aid in polarization, so now this is answering Don's question, one would need to begin with the faculty of visioning, envisioning, or far-seeing. Without the veil, the mind was not caught in your illusory time. With the veil, space-time is the only obvious possibility for experience. So this is... I really don't know how to interpret this finally, so I'm just going to open it again to interpretation. What does visioning, envisioning, or far-seeing is? To me, is the capacity of seeing beyond what is this reality. Okay, some people may say far-seeing, oh, that's when you do this astral projection and you look into other people's minds and so on. Yes, that might be a way in which you can use it. I believe that's magical things that you can do, but I don't like to play with magic. I think, in fact, I'm using the term wrong here in the vocabulary of the law of one, because this is when I use the term magic here, I'm using it in the way that normally people use it. Cities, for example, in Hinduism or Buddhism, these are called cities, mental powers. That's not magic within the law of one. That's mental powers, psychic powers. I don't think that's what Ra is saying. I don't think we talk about this as polarization. You develop psychic powers, although a lot of people like to talk about this and say you can develop them, and if you have them, you should empower yourself through them. Well, who am I to say don't? But I am, or I feel kind of empowered to say that's not magic. That's not envisioning, visioning, or far-seeing. I believe this is, if we're talking about a veiling process, that far-seeing, envisioning is talking about the unconscious mind. So it's your unconscious mind. It's not other people's or whatever it is, or the universe. I mean, it is the universe, but it is you. It's your universe. It's who you are. And I reinforce this by Ra's continuation when they say, without the veil, the mind was not caught in your illusory time. So you were not blinded by this idea of time passing. You see, with the veil, space-time is the only obvious possibility for experience. So we can only see the unconscious mind out here, reflected in the world. And so you can see another meaning for the world is your mirror. You see, if you accept the world as it is, you accept yourself as you are. Well, harmony is derived from this, peace, and of course, love is the result of this acceptance. So everything checks in if you see the world as that, which is the unconscious mind. You see, it keeps bubbling. The more you get out of your way, the more you dissolve the ego's separate self, then the more of this unconscious mind is able to be reflected out there, and the more you need to accept it. And it's a dynamic process. It's a beautiful process. And so that's what I think Ra is saying here. But again, I'm very aware that this can be interpreted in many ways, so I leave that to the consideration of anybody. What does visioning, envisioning, and far-seeing mean to you? You take it from there.